Good morning. It's the last day of October and it's overcast, quite overcast. I'm actually wearing a little umbrella or a big umbrella because I don't want to let the phone get wet. And the sun is hiding. So what are we going to do? So this is one of the days when you have to be the sunrise in your family, when the sun is not shining. That's a nice task in life, to be the sunrise for your family. Look at the drops of water here. And actually this is a huge blessing for nature. It's not raining heavily and you can see the ground is still actually dry. So it's not even wetting the surface, it's just like a little dampness, a little sprinkle. But it's been doing that for the last half hour. Actually, I didn't think to check the prognosis and I can't do that now while we're live. So who knows what's coming today. I'm not sure if we're getting a lot of rain or not. I'm going to stay here on our side instead of going over there. And since I'm carrying the umbrella, I have to get through all that growth. It's nice to see these flowers fully opened. It doesn't have to be a sunrise for them to open. Isn't that interesting? And then all these flowers are fully opened. We just need light to fully open. They close down at night time in the dark. Here we've got a fire of color. Again, you can see all the drops of water. The earth is parched for this water. It's thirsting. My soul is thirsting for you, O God, like earth parched and without water. The drops are still sticking even though I'm shaking the leaves there. So today we have readings that are very familiar to us. Almost as familiar as rain to an Irishman. About the greatest commandment. To love God with all your heart and all your soul and all your strength, and your neighbor as yourself. But maybe the stronger point that's being made is that there's only one God. And that we should love him with all our heart and all our soul and all. Listen, Israel. What's interesting is also that Jesus and the scholar of the law repeat these words like their core essence of their identity. It's coming from the book of Deuteronomy, where that's so clearly stated. Scholars say the book of Deuteronomy is a later work, and in the late monarchic times, so maybe before the exile, And it's an effort to get the people to remember and consolidate the teaching about the oneness, the unicity, that God is one, and to correct idolatry. It's a very big theme, which is actually a need for today, to recognize one God. And the thing is that when we have more than one God, which we in practice often do, because God is where we give our complete allegiance. In the measure we don't give him complete allegiance, then we're not letting him be God in our lives. We think somebody else can give us happiness, can give us life. And so we have a divided heart in regard to God. We try to keep God happy. We burn a little bit on this altar, a little bit on that altar. It's probably the challenge of everyone's life. Their whole life is to bring their whole life together into that true, deep, completely faithful adoration. Now we see the water dripping onto the water. I don't know if you can see that detail. Let me see if I focus in for you here. Yeah, there you can see it. This is actually a day to celebrate. To get rain is a big, big blessing. In a parched land. No rain basically since March. I don't think we got much in April. And here you see all the drops falling. It's always intriguing to see where these waves are coming from, because there's not really any wind. And actually they're coming from the east here. And there are no boats out there making waves. To love God with all our heart and all our soul and all our strength. Maybe that's part of the deepest healing, and also a sign of health. The more we can love, then we have health in our soul. The more our soul can love. I'm pointing over here because there's a bunch of little birds on the ground running around. I'm just trying to locate them here on the camera for you. They all seem to have scampered away on me. Oh, I see one over there now. Oh, there you are in the camera. We have health in our body, health in our soul, in our mind, and health in our relationship with God. How much we need to be concerned about that. We're concerned about blood pressure, about breathing, about sugar levels, about antibodies, all very important. But to have health in our relationship with God, to adore God with all our heart and all our soul and all our strength. Oh, there we have. Here we got this little nice duck here. I don't know if it's a duck, but behaves like a duck. Looks like a duck. that I'm not the expert on the names of all the birds. So we are heirs of a great heritage of this truth of our faith, millennia old heritage. And the amount of good this has done is amazing. To love your neighbor as yourself. Coming from the love of God and our neighbor made in the image and likeness of God. Imagine all the works of kindness and love and charity, heroic, which have been accomplished day in, day out. People have been strengthened and lifted up. We're very fragile in our relationships, and like a hand that's hurting or a leg that's been under tremendous pressure, and you put on a cast or some piece of support, and we can do more because we have that support around our arm or support around our leg, and we can move. And this teaching is like that. It strengthens us in our weakness. This teaching firms up our ability to have our lives as lives of service, to live our lives with generosity. It helps us to gather our little strengths together to serve another time, to forgive another time, to give another time, to be patient another time, to be understanding another time, to love God with all our heart and all our soul and all our strength. And this is very connected to a life of prayer, a life of collecting our senses, collecting our thoughts, collecting our memory, all of our person, and resolving to love, resolving to give of ourselves. No greater love than to lay down our life for our fellow. And who is our fellow? What's the meaning of that person, the other person? My own relatives, my own friends, my co-nationals, my co-religionists. And Jesus teaches us that none of those distinctions count. Every human being, especially and also the ones that are different to me, who think differently, who maybe are opposed to me, to love my neighbor as myself, to love the other as myself. Can be very tough. Let's ponder today whom I can particularly consciously show an act of kindness and care, especially in the tougher cases. And if we work on that, the easier ones come by themselves. But to ponder today one of those ones and to offer it up to God as an act of worship. Lord, I'm going to do something nice for this person as my recognition of you, that you are the one true God. You've created me, you've given me everything. Here I am, Lord. I want to do your will, and your will is love. I think we might be gone over time, but we've had a good time. We started late because of the rain, no sign of sun. So you're the sunshine today in your family. God bless you. Here's my red umbrella. See you later, alligators.